Was Nakobe Dean a better Georgia Bulldog linebacker than Roquan Smith? I know that sounds crazy, but that's what we're going to talk about in today's video because it's early June and I don't want to make a recruiting video every single day. So we're going to talk about that and a lot more. We're going to be breaking down the top middle linebackers in Georgia Bulldog history. Now, if you ask the average knowledgeable Georgia fan who the best two middle linebackers are in program history, I think it's pretty safe to say it's Roquan Smith and Nakobe Dean. And that's what I would say too, but I think it's a lot closer than people think. Obviously, Roquan Smith, what he did in 2017 was one of the best seasons any linebacker has ever had in college football history. I truly believe that. He was a consensus All-American, Butkus Award winner, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, had 137 tackles, 14 tackles for a loss. It's really closer to 20. There were 3 tackles against Notre Dame alone that he made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage and they just marked it as a no gain. It was crazy. Should be closer to 20 tackles for a loss, 6.5 sacks. What he did against Oklahoma in the fourth quarter and overtime is a big reason why Georgia won that game. He's phenomenal. And he's one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now. But what Nakobe Dean did in 2021 is right underneath that season, in my opinion. Only had 72 tackles, but you got to remember, he was playing next to guys like Channing Tindall and Quay Walker and had one of the best defensive lines in college football in front of him, where Roquan Smith was playing with Reggie Carter and a young Tay Crowder and a young Monty Rice, right? He had to do everything. And that's why Roquan Smith, in 2015, as a freshman, he made 20 tackles. In 2016, he made 95 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss. And at that time, he was one of the best linebackers, in the conference, but he wasn't a national name. But against Notre Dame in South Bend, 2017, Roquan Smith took over. And that's when you saw the brilliance. That's when you saw him becoming the Roquan Smith that we know now. I think he's number one, but I want to talk about Nakobe Dean too, because I think, him not being this superstar linebacker in Philadelphia just yet, people kind of forget about him because when you turn on the TV on Sundays, you see Roquan Smith dominating. He's one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now. In 2020, Nakobe Dean had 71 tackles, 1.5 tackles for a loss, if I got the numbers correct. In 2021, again, 72 tackles, 10.5 tackles for a loss, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, Butkus Award winner, consensus All-American. The guy was phenomenal. And when you watch what he did against Michigan, where they had that swing pass and he just turned into like a lightning rod and just ran over there crazy fast, his instincts, his football IQ, the football speed, Nakobe Dean had everything. And he is, without a doubt, one of the best Georgia Bulldog defenders. Not only linebackers, but one of the best defenders in program history. I still think it's Roquan Smith, number one, Nakobe Dean, number two. But they're right there with each other. Same umbrella, same category. After that, gets a little, let's say different. I'm not sure if it's a big gap or not, but you've got guys like Boss Bailey, Odell Thurman, Quay Walker, Alec Ogletree, a lot. I'm going to talk about those guys right now, all right? So we're going to do the list. It's the offseason. This is where we list guys and have a debate, which is what this is. I'm not sure there's a wrong answer. But I want to hear your comments in the section below as I talk more about Roquan Smith, Nakobe Dean, so on and so on. All right, we're going to bring it back, start talking about some old linebackers. So if you're a young Georgia fan, this is the video for you. You're going to learn a lot, okay? But first, collegebronze.com. I talk about in every video because this is a 5-star product. And Father's Day is basically here. It's next Sunday, all right? If you're still looking for a gift, get yours today. Don't forget the discount, okay? Don't miss out on the discount, right? That makes me smile every time I say that. It kind of rhymes a little bit, but seriously, if you're looking for a Father's Day gift, it's right here. Get it today with the discount so you get it by Father's Day. Your dad's going to love it. Your grandfather's going to love it. My 2-year-old comes up and pets it almost every time he's in my office. We got a lab. We got a dog. He loves it. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I mean, at 35 pounds, it's the most detailed Bulldog statue on the market. I'm not going to talk about it the entire video, but I'm telling you right now, this is the best Father's Day gift on the market. Get yours today. It's all in the description below in this video. That's where you order, and that's where you use the promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST, to get the discount. Okay, if you're a young Georgia fan and you didn't watch Boss Bailey absolutely tear it up in the early 2000s, especially in 2002, you missed out, and I'm sorry. This guy was all over the field, an absolute dog. What he did on special teams, too, blocking kicks, feels like every other Saturday back in the day. He was a big reason why that 2002 Georgia team is one of the best Georgia teams of all time. That was a phenomenal team. They did not play for the championship. They had lost to Florida in the middle of the season, and that cost them because they could have beat Ohio State. Miami lost to Ohio State, got the game ripped from them by the officials who basically gave Ohio State the win. But Georgia was so good that year. Boss Bailey was a big reason why. Without a doubt, one of the best middle linebackers in program history. Went on to have, I think, a decent NFL career. I remember him a little bit. I don't think he was a Pro Bowler or anything like that. Maybe 1 year, but he was an absolute dog. Odell Thurman in 2003. Crushing dudes. I believe he was a first-round pick with David Pollock to the Bengals that year. Maybe he was a second-round pick. But Odell Thurman, a thumper. Those are guys that defense or opposing offenses, they didn't want to face. Roquan Smith was a game changer. He was a difference maker. Nakobe Dean was a game changer, right? He was the leader of one of the best defenses in college football history. He did everything, right? He was the signal caller. He had everyone lined up. Nakobe Dean was phenomenal. He was a 5-star and more, and I hope he gets an opportunity to stay healthy and be that type of guy for the Philadelphia Eagles. Those were game changers. I think Boss Bailey brought the game-changing element to his game. Odell Thurman, ask Auburn in 2003 if Odell Thurman was a game changer. He was that game. Quay Walker, really good. Not sure he was a game changer. Same with Alec Ogletree. You know, he brought an intimidating presence. I'm not sure he was a game changer, but he was one of the best middle linebackers at that time in Georgia history for sure. Was a big safety out of high school. I think he played there in 2010, but 2011, 2012, Alec Ogletree was one of the best linebackers, not only at Georgia, but across the South and across the SEC. Other guys that you may have forgot about. Tony Gilbert. Tony Gilbert was that dude, okay? Macon's finest, right? He's from Macon. I've got a lot of family from down there, so I love some Tony Gilbert. 96 tackles, led the team in 2000. 99 tackles, led the team in 2001. And 114 tackles in that special 2002 season, tied for the team lead with Boss Bailey, who I talked about earlier. Tony Gilbert is one of the more underappreciated guys, probably in program history, at least at linebacker. He was phenomenal. Tony Taylor, 2002 to 2006. Very good player that I think people forget about. People will try to bring up Thomas Davis, Greg Blushon Jones. Those are safeties who played like linebackers in a way, though. I mean, those dudes would pop you. Could have played linebacker at Georgia if they need them to, but they also roamed the field, in the secondary. But they brought that same type of element. But going back to the two dogs, right? Roquan Smith, Nakobe Dean. It's got to be 1A and 1B, right? I think you can make the case for Nakobe Dean just because I think his 2020 season as a sophomore was slightly better than Roquan Smith's in 2016. But I mean, Roquan was good in 2016, but he wasn't Roquan yet. He became Roquan that next year, and that's when he became quickly the best linebacker in college football. The 95 tackles in 2016, I think a lot of that has to do with he didn't have a ton of help around him. It was not a great team overall. But if you're looking at who's the best individual linebacker by themselves, I think it's Roquan. Probably more than think. I kind of know it's Roquan, but man, Nakobe Dean, if you remember exactly what he did and the plays he made against Kentucky in 2001, where they had that kind of flip screen, it was kind of a finesse play, a lot of movement going on, and they threw it out to the running back. Nakobe Dean shed 2 blockers, ran through another one, and made the play in the backfield, not only for like a 1-yard, 2-yard loss, it was like a 5-6-yard loss. He was that good, getting through 3 linemen, tight ends, whoever it was, and making a tackle. Those instincts were phenomenal. And Roquan had that too. And Roquan had that big playability. But I don't want people to forget what Nakobe Dean brought to this program. Nakobe Dean has a national championship ring. All right. Roquan Smith doesn't. But he's got an SEC ring, which I don't believe Nakobe Dean has. Actually, he doesn't. But the national championship is everything. And he was a big player in that game throughout the season. So I think if we're talking greatest middle linebackers of program history, it starts with those two. I think that's clear. Roquan Smith, 1A, Nakobe Dean, 1B. But both phenomenal guys. Could CJ Allen be that type of player? I think a lot of people think he could be. He's very good, and statistically, he could get up there because he'll be a 2.5-year starter by the time he leaves Athens. But they're turning into linebacker U, and Glenn Schumann. Yeah, Glenn Schumann is turning out guys left and right. I don't know who the next Roquan Smith or Nakobe Dean is going to be, but you're going to have to be incredible, the best linebacker in college football, if you want to be on the level of those two guys. Let me know in the comments section below. Who's number 3? Is it Boss Bailey? Is it Knox Culpepper? Is it Ben Zambiasi? Right? I butchered that. I didn't mean to. For the older dog fans who watched those two play, I didn't, right? I'm a fresh 34, so I can only talk about really the guys that I watched play. But Roquan Smith and Nakobe Dean, two of the best linebackers you will find in college football over the last 10 plus years, 20 plus years. They were incredible. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thanks for watching this video, and get your Bulldog today. Father's Day is going to be here. Don't miss out. Get this bad boy with the discount. Promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the website.